Bidenomics has been complicated for the White House as the president's approval rating hovers near record lows despite a pretty solid economy. Rick Newman here with the details on the final trading day of the year. Hi, Rick.
Hey, guys. I looked at some things that went right and some things that went wrong in 2023 to figure out what Biden needs to have a pretty good shot at reelection in 2024. So some really important things did go right for Biden in 23. I'll just tick them off really fast. I'm listing four. Inflation came down sharply. Job growth and economic growth held up. That's the so-called soft landing. We're having this great stock market boom to end the year. S&P 500 up 24% for 2023. And energy prices got cheaper, and that's a big one that voters care about, obviously. So there's a little bit of momentum at the end of 2023 here with consumer confidence picking up a little bit. Perhaps the shock of inflation is finally starting to wear off. But there are some other things that are going wrong. And just to go through them really quickly, there's some new data from the St. Louis Federal Reserve that shows that financial stress is actually getting worse. And that is measured by an increase in delinquency rates on auto loans and credit cards that is now as bad as it was during the Great Recession in 2008 and 2009. That obviously is not good. We've got problems with wars. People are freaked out about wars. And that migrant crisis on the border is a real train wreck. And Biden does not seem to have his arms around that. And that could get worse before it gets better. So a lot of different forces playing against each other as we go into 2024.
Rick, we know that voters really don't like being told that the economy is better than it feels to them when they are checking out at the grocery store. This is a recurring theme that I've heard from voters when covering these elections. Talk to me about where the biggest problem lies in Bidenomics. Is part of it a branding problem for President Biden when he inevitably hits the campaign trail, or is it in the specifics of the policy?
I think the biggest problem for Biden is now food inflation. We actually did a Yahoo Finance survey in November and asked people to break down the different types of inflation and say, which of these is the biggest problem for you in terms of your family budget? And by far, it was food inflation. And that makes sense because food inflation has been in the double digit on a year over year basis for much of the last 2 years. It has now come down. It's in better shape. But, if you're a family and you're feeding 3 or 4 kids and things are 10% more at the grocery store, you're really feeling it. So that's what voters told us, and that's what Biden needs to watch out for.
Rick, thanks so much. Really appreciate it.
Bye, guys.
Happy New Year.
Same.